Okay, fellas, class is in session. We are in chapter 9, and if you look at chapter 9 in your textbook, you will see the flow chart in front of me right here. And today we're going to be talking about the wife acceptance factor or the wife approval factor. And if you don't know what the wife approval factor is that green light you must get before every project you're doing in your home or in your space, especially in a shared space like this. So we're going to be talking about that today, and we're going to be talking to an expert on this subject, and we're going to answer the question, what do I need to do to get my partner to stop asking a bunch of questions every time I pick up a hammer? So let's get some answers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my lovely wife of 30 years, Kamesha, to the channel. This is her Genius Home Theater debut. Say what's up to the people, Kamesha.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. Well, we're talking about the wife acceptance factor today, and we want to know, what do you know about the wife acceptance or the wife approval factor? What do you know about that?
Well, to me, it seems as if my permission is needed before something is done in the home.
So what if it's like your approval after it gets done? Is that acceptable too? So
That is acceptable, but I would like to think that I weigh a little bit in the beginning before the project begins.
what do you think is the reason why some people get a little bit uncomfortable when a new project is about to start?
There are a number of reasons. The first one I would say is the projects are lengthy. So they take a lot of time. And sometimes there are other things that need to be done around the house. But when you, in particular, are involved in a project, you're in that project and you don't have room or time for anything else.
I agree. I am that type of person. I will turn into whatever it is that I'm doing, and not a whole lot exists outside of that because I'm so focused. And everybody knows when I'm going or starting on a project that I am totally focused, start to finish. I don't start and stop. I don't pause. I make it all the way through until the last bit of paint dries, and then it's like, hello family, how y'all doing? How y'all been? So that's how I am. So I mean, so what we're gonna do before we get into what I've done in this room, let's talk about some other projects around the house that kind of warm you up to my standard of work, and which I believe is important, because if my work looked like junk, then you probably wouldn't give me those Home Depot and Lowe's gift cards like you've been giving me all of this time. So, for Father's Day and such. So, I mean, well, I might have been set up on that, what I'm saying? But I have gotten those. So I did kind of warm you up to the things that I could do around the house and the professionalism that I put into it. So, let's discuss some of the things that we did around the house. The master bathroom. Now, the master bathroom renovation we did in 2018 was my first major anything around this house. So, how did you feel doing that renovation?
I was confident that you were going to do a great job. The only reservation was, as I mentioned before, is that you tend to get over absorbed in the project and then other things may be overlooked or, left.
So what would you say? Which way would you have it? Would you say that you rather me do a 70% job and you kind of tend to more things, or would you take a 95% job and then I be kind of distance for that time? So what do
Yeah,
you prefer?
I'll take it.
Take
I'll
which
take
one?
it. The
Let you choose.
90, 95. I'll take
There
it
you go.
because I do know that the outcome is going to be pleasing.
Okay. All right. So that's what I kind of figure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a 70% when it comes to my things that I do. Now I don't do huge things. I don't do framing, and you know what I'm saying, we gotta probably put a new deck on there. I don't want to do that, so I don't really touch the things that I don't think I can do well or make look good. If I don't, I might source it to someone else, or I'll get me some more reference from maybe YouTube or what have you to see whether or not I can do it, and I can do it to make it look professional. So that's kind of how I am with that. So we did the master bathroom renovation 2018, and then a couple years ago, just now when we think that the renovation is done in the bathroom, we go, or I go into building my cologne cabinet. So everything was nice and pretty in the bathroom still and whatever. And then here I come talking about I want to put a cologne cabinet and I gotta bust this wall out to do it, right? So you were like, God dang, my new bathroom. And here he go with this new idea trying to bust down walls all over again. So that's kind of how I kind of did it. So it turned out nice though.
Yes.
It fit the
Yes.
bathroom well, I think. So that's another thing that we were doing. So, and we also did a refresh of the hall bathroom like a couple years ago as well. We did a refresh on the bathroom. Let's talk to, briefly about how you felt that went, that process, which it wasn't as major as the master bathroom, but it was like a refresh. But, did you like how that turned out as well? You approved that outcome?
Absolutely. All,
Okay.
all of the outcomes are pleasing. I approve all the outcomes. It's just what happens in the interim.
So the outcome. So have you still have reservations about the projects when they come up, even though you to this date are happy with the outcomes? What do you think is the reason why it's so much contention when it's happening, even though the outcome is going to be great? What is that thing that holds people back from going,
It's the
the
process.
process?
It's
Okay,
the
okay, so
process.
okay, all right, all right. So there's some things we did around the house, part of it. So we're gonna come downstairs. That's upstairs, of course. So now we're gonna come downstairs. I did the crown molding around the entire downstairs when we were kind of new in this house or whatever. So we did a lot of stuff down here to spruce it up. So the crown molding I did um, all the way around the house. Of course, you helped because everybody else in the house was a little person at that time. We have tall boys now, so but everybody was little. So you were definitely helping me with those 12-inch or 12-foot sections of crown molding. So thank you for that. So we were definitely doing that on a teamwork tip. So we also did the chair railing over here. We did the chair railing in the dining area, and we did the faux paneling. I put the faux paneling on the wall, so that kind of tied in everything down here. I even did the kitchen cabinets. I put crown molding at the top of the kitchen cabinet. I bumped out the cabinet over the microwave and over the refrigerator and did crown molding all around those. So that turned out pretty good too. And again, that was my first time doing crown molding, but you remember all the videos I watched trying to do crown molding. I bought a book how to do crown molding. I bought these little templates of how to do crown molding. So I spent 3 weeks watching videos and practicing before we even put the first piece of crown molding up. So that's kind of what she's talking about, how I get self-absorbed into it because I want to do a good job. So in order to do a good job of something that you're not familiar with, then you have to gain the knowledge first. So we're moving from what we did in the dining area to the backsplash. That backsplash is dope. That backsplash is dope, man. I'm telling you, that backsplash came out like it took me a long time to get them tiles of that company, but that backsplash was on hit, and people see that when they walk in. Sometimes say, "Where did you get that backsplash from?" I don't even know if you can get those tiles anymore, but So, what do you think about that backsplash?
Definitely an eye catcher. And when people come into the house and they walk back to the kitchen, that's the first thing they mention is like that backsplash. Where did you get the backsplash? Who did it? So yeah,
Individual tiles. Put one vertically, put the other one horizontal. One vertically, one horizontal. Row by row, day by day. You have to wait till one row dries before you can put the other one up. So again, process, but the result I think was great. So All right. So that's some of the projects again downstairs, but now it's time for the elephant in the room. Do you know what the elephant in the room is? You know what I'm saying? And we haven't mentioned it yet. You know, so I don't know everybody's thinking it, but we haven't mentioned it yet. What do you think the elephant in the room is?
The
Is there?
orange.
Thank you. A big fat orange in the room. So the orange has taken over down here, and tell them why the orange is taking over down here, please.
Orange is my favorite color, and I think he kind of uses that to his advantage. If he uses my favorite color in his projects, then I most likely will approve them.
Okay, okay. It's a Jedi mind trick that I learned, you know what I'm saying? You will let me do this project and you will like it. So I don't know if she really likes the stuff or not, but you know, when I do like this, tend to get approval. You know what I'm saying? Little mind trick I use from time to time. We even had custom orange curtains that people
Mm.
normally see when they first walk in here. So these things are not off the shelf orange that I had to put in here to appease you. You know that you're right. So I mean, those curtains were made by a friend of yours who does is a seamstress, right? The seat cushions in the kitchen are custom as well. They
Yes,
were covered in orange vinyl. Whose request was that?
mine.
Another request. Can we make these cushions orange? I said, no, we can't make those cushions orange. Orange, how we gonna get orange cushions? You know what I'm saying? But found a way eventually to get those things, and I had found some vinyl, marine grade vinyl, orange. It was orange.
Mhm.
And that's one of those things, like sometimes I always have things in the back of my mind, but until I find out whether they exist or not, it's just on the back burner. Now you have orange appliances in the kitchen as well. You know what I'm saying?
Not too much. Well, one thing I can say, you can't miss the orange when you come in, but there are pops of orange all over. It's not overkill. I can't say that for sure. It's not overkill. And that's what I think gets people's attention because they'll turn, oh, you have orange curtains, and they'll turn, oh, I see the seats are orange, but it's not. We don't have the walls painted orange. We don't have orange place settings on the table, and our
I
floor is
know.
in orange.
We got
And
orange plates. We
yes, we
got orange plates.
do.
We got orange dishware. Now, I mean,
Yes, pops
it
of orange.
that's pop. You know,
Yeah,
pop some orange. So
pops.
so like still continue with the orange. There's still more orange in here. People probably seen don't know about these ottomans. These
Hmm.
ottomans I got from I forget a home store somewhere.
Hmm.
The ottomans were olive and brown
Brown.
initially. So I took the ottomans to the same place we had the dinette chairs covered in that vinyl, bought some more of that orange vinyl, and say, hey, can you cover these ottomans with this orange vinyl? Because I needed the storage in this space because ottomans have storage in them. So in order to be able to use those in this space, I had to make them orange. So another thing I'm doing to appease her to get what I want. So that's kind of an example of how we're using each other to get what we need in here. You know what I'm saying? So, but you don't think it's overkill.
No, absolutely not. It's not overkill. It's all done in great taste. Great taste.
Okay, all right, all right. And some might say my cinema space and what I do in my cinema space is overkill too, but it doesn't look overdone to me, you know, because it's all about what you see visually as a whole, because this is kind of open concept and everything. So I don't think my cinema space is overkill. Now, if I sit and go around and point out everything to someone, then they're gonna say, "Yeah, that's overkill." And I agree. This hobby has a lot of overkill parts in it, you know, because if I didn't have this hobby, half of the stuff that you can point out, if you look for it, you would never see in somebody's living room. But I believe it's done tastefully. So, and my intent is to was to keep all the gear as inconspicuous as possible. So I think I've done a good job, and I believe I've done the best that I could at kind of doing that. But you still have to this day a problem with all the black that's in the front. So there's really nothing I could do. The TV when it's off is black. Sound bar is black. speakers and the grill that go with them black. The console's black. The subwoofers on the side, they don't normally come in anything but black. But I kind of got that contained to the front because that's if you're gonna have it, then normally those things are gonna be black. But when we talking about things that are kind of hidden, people still walk underneath this projector when they walk in to this day. People who haven't been here before, they will walk underneath this projector and say, "What's that big thing up front?" Or what, and they finally look up and say, "Oh, there's a projector there," because the projector is the white version of the projector that I could have had in the black. I also covered my projector screen that I have up here with this valance that's up here. So I built that. That's my second one that I built. Speaking of the screen, speaking of the screen, do you remember the first screen that I had? What do you remember about the first screen that I had?
I remember you saying you were going to put up the projector and the screen. And I gave you your time and your space.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just remember coming downstairs one day and it was a hole in the wall.
Actually, it was two holes in the wall. Two holes in the wall. I was, I would say, unskilled on how to put the projector screen up properly, right? And I did not tie it into the studs in the wall. I thought I could just use the right kind of drywall anchors, the ones that it came with, and put them in there. But it was a manual pull down screen, and you have to pull it down, and to get it to come back up, you have to pull it like you do a roller shade. So you have to pull it to come back up. Well, this day your screen didn't want to come back up. So I'm pulling it to try to, jerk it hard to try to get it to come back up, and it wouldn't do it. So I pulled it really hard one time, and it just bust out the wall, fell into my hands, folded up like this. And when you heard the blue boom, blue boom, here you come running downstairs, and I'm like, what, oh. So she coming running downstairs, what's going on? So I'm looking like a deer in the headlights, and she looking at me with like her mouth wide open, and I was like, all I could say was, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. I couldn't do anything. I ain't even put it on the floor yet. It was still in my arms. I was like, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. And the look on your face, the look on your face as you slowly walked up those stairs, shaking your head. You didn't say anything to me. You just shook your head, walked upstairs slow, like this fool then bust two big holes in our wall and the house that we barely just got in, and he talking about he gonna fix it. So
Yes.
so I know that made you a little bit pissed off. I mean, not pissed off, but you were a little disappointed. I know, So
Yes.
uh, you know, but that's about the screen. Let me get off of that screen. All right, let's go to other things that we do to kind of keep it under the cover here. We got the in-wall speakers and the in-ceiling speakers. So people don't recognize that either, do they? When they come in here, they don't recognize that we have speakers, especially in the wall. They might look up and see the ones in the ceiling, but I've spray painted the same color of the wall with the spray paint that you can buy spray paint now that has the actual color match. So I did that, So if it's out of sight, then it's out of mind. And I kept the ceiling panels. The ceiling panels that we have up here, I made those exact. I was able to get a material that was the exact same color as the ceiling. So that kind of fit in. Now, this huge sound cloud that I have up here right now. So it's a sound absorbing panel. And what was your initial concern uh, about it then? And what is your feeling about it now? About that sound cloud that I built?
Well, when you complete a project, I'm like ecstatic. Okay. And I like the way everything looks. And I feel, okay, this is what everything should be. And it's done and finished. So I feel there's nothing else for you to do. So when you mention, I want a SoundCloud, I'm like, why? It's complete. Why are you messing up the room? But now that the SoundCloud is there, I think it's pretty dope, and
Yeah,
people like it.
it's dope. It's dope. You dope. But I'm gonna tell you what a lot of people tell you in this hobby, you're never finished. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? You're sorry. I'm sorry, but you're never finished. The last thing I put up here was these magnetic sound panels. You know what I'm saying? I know you weren't too thrilled when I did the SoundCloud, and I said, hey, I'm gonna put some more panels up here because I want to do some magnetic panels. He was like, no, the SoundCloud was enough. The whole thing, you know what I'm saying? So you're still getting used to those. I get it, you know what I'm saying? Because there's just something else up there. But again, it's the same color as the ceiling paint. So they don't jump out at you. So what we need to do, we need to make sure we get the final approval on the last project that we did. So I have made for my wife a wife approval checklist. You know, so there's a checklist that I've had her sign off to see whether or not we can go to the next project or how she feels about the next project. So I'll be using these in the future on my channel. You know, when I do something or when I've completed something, I'm gonna pull out this checklist, and just so we don't get any complaints in the future, I'm gonna have to come back and show you the list of where you sign this off. All right. So I'm gonna show you guys on the screen what this wife approval checklist looks like. All right. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna get you the checklist, and you tell me if we can check those boxes. All right. All right. All right. We're back with the checklist, everybody. We're back with the checklist. You can see the checklist on the screen. The first one. Let's just see if we're gonna get a check or not for this. All right. The WAF checklist, wife approval factor. All right. The first box goes with the room. That's most of the things that are here. It goes with the room. All right, cool. We'll take a
Yes,
check for the
check.
goals. What the goals with the room. Next, looks professional.
Yes,
All
check.
right, they look professional. Cool. This is the important one, fellas. This is the important one right here. The house is in one piece.
Check.
The house is in one piece. All right,
Mm.
cool. All right. And the last one, can't wait for the next project. You know what?
I can always wait for the next project unless it's a project that I want done.
So, all right. Well, hey, 3 out of 4 ain't bad, man. At least we get a 75%. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I guess we can't have it all. So, I mean, the point here is she ain't gonna never be satisfied, and she always gonna have some kind of feeling about the next project. And your lady probably has some kind of feeling about the next project every time you do one too. And there's nothing we can do about it. Pretty much. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, nothing we can do
Absolutely.
about it.
But 3 out of 4 isn't bad at all.
3 out of 4 ain't bad at all.
No.
So, hey, I want to thank you for coming on the channel and clarifying, what it is we can do, if anything. You know what I'm saying? I just want to thank you for coming on and speaking to the people. Again, this is your debut on the channel. I'm sure there'll be many other opportunities for Kamesha to come on and say hello to you guys, doing projects, or we may have another Q&A, but for now, we've got our first question answered by the professional on what we need to do as far as the wife acceptance factor. All right. So thank y'all for joining us. So what have we learned today, guys? We learned that it ain't ever going to happen. It's never going to happen. You never going to get free reign over a shared media space as long as your wife or your spouse, your loved one has some say so. So all the kissing up in the world is not going to help you. All you can do is make the next project better than the last one. And then maybe you can get 75% approval. Well, that's all I got. Good luck out there. Class is dismissed. Oh, and read ahead to chapter 10 for next week, the chapter on why your wife never knows what she wants to eat. Sandwiches. All right. All right.